our black immigrant groups, Nigerians, Barbadians, Ghanaians, Trinidadians, all have higher incomes than the average American. And because whites are more than blacks and Hispanics, that's the factor. Third, Nigerian Americans are one of the most educated groups in America, according to a study by Rice University. They only make up 1% of African Americans, Nigerians, 1%. Yet they are represented at the Harvard Business School at a rate of 25% of black students. So no wonder they are out earning whites, Nigerian Americans.
Ndewo to all of you. Ndewo is an Igbo Nigerian word that means greetings, but it does have a deeper meaning. Ndo, Ewo. Long life to you all. If you're walking amongst the living, my prayer for you is already working. I'm Dr. Wonyo Hosimere, and I am your host on the Ntomodu Show. Ntomodu is Igbo Nigerian word for words of wisdom, wisdom that I share that you can add to your repertoire. I want to thank you for inviting me into your space today. And as always, I promise you that you will not be disappointed for the gesture. Today is another special segment as we continue our focus on Nigeria. 2 weeks ago, my guest, Ms. Akachi Azubike, a Nigerian-American journalist, NMID, addressed if democracy is working for Nigerian women. Last week, we interviewed the Nigerian Women for Progress in Atlanta, Georgia. Our focus was on how the Nigerian women are using political engagement to influence political culture in the United States. Well, today, we shall focus on why the Nigerians are considered the most successful immigrant group in the United States. And in case you don't know, I'm a Nigerian woman, and I am proud to present my people in a positive light, contrary to some of what some of you may think about Nigeria. Keep your ears open, or rather, keep your eyes open, keep your ears plugged. You're about to hear something totally different. Before we go any further, though, I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of all of us Nigerians or all of the immigrants of color who come to this country. I want to take the opportunity to thank the African American community, the descendants of our African ancestors who were taken from the motherland to the diaspora, for opening the doors and making it possible, making all of this possible. You sacrificed many lives during slavery. You came through Jim Crow era and the Civil Rights era, and most recently, the Black Lives Matter movement, and you continue to push for freedom and justice. The African Americans discovered so many things that the world can now forget who made it all possible. We are grateful for all that you have done to aid us in our journey and quest to become successful contributors to the human society, and in particular, the United States. Ubuntu, Daluno, we are because you are. And together we make the dream work. Despite racism and discrimination, Nigerian Americans continue to represent the homeland extremely well, excelling in the United States as they are currently one of the country's most successful immigrant communities. I'm so proud to be a Nigerian. Yes, indeed. Apart from the traditional careers like doctors, lawyers, and engineers, Nigerian Americans are also doing tremendously well in the entertainment, sports, and the culinary arts. The Nigerian American population has also produced some of the first in America, including forensic pathologist Dr. Bennett Omalo. He was the first to discover and publish on chronic traumatic encephalopathy in American football players. There is also Perlina, I hope I'm saying it correctly, Ibokwe, the first woman of African descent to head a major US TV studio. Imelme A. Omana is the first Black woman elected president of the Harvard Law Review last year. This year, Nigerian chef Tunde Wei in New Orleans made the news when he used food to highlight racial wealth inequality in America. The list goes on and on. So how did these Nigerians get to the US in their numbers? And how are they outshining citizens from their own host country? To help me in this discussion today is none other than Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the embodiment of Nigerian success story. Dr. Orabueze is a board-certified family nurse practitioner and psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. Dr. Orabueze is the CEO, owner of Georgia Act and Healthcare Services, an integrated behavioral and primary care clinic. The clinic serves over 2,500 individuals in Atlanta, Georgia, and environs yearly. Georgia Act and Healthcare Services provides partial hospitalization program, PHP, intensive outpatient program, IOP, drug abuse treatment education program, DATEP, mental health care and opioid abuse treatment, as well as primary and preventative care to the public. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Hello, Queen. How are you?
I'm good. Good day, Prof.
It is so good to see you. It's always a pleasure. And it just makes sense that you're featured today based on the topic we're talking about. So what I'm going to do first and foremost, before we even go into too much, I just want to say, in the interest of time, there was no way I could read all the intense and immense accolades that you have achieved in your short life here in America. I'll just say that we are so proud of you.
Thank you.
You absolutely represent Nigeria extremely well. But let me ask you this question. What motivated you to come to the United States?
Thank you so much, Prof, for having me in this wonderful, beautiful, exceptional program. So proud of what you do every day, you and your team. To your question, I was motivated by the passion to visit a country where the sky is your limit. When I was in Nigeria, we used to hear that America is the land of the free. It is a country where there is freedom of speech, there is liberty, there is justice. It is a land where if you do the right thing, nothing is going to be your limit in your success.
Yes.
So all that information and the need to also excel is what brought me to the United States with my kids.
And you are doing exceptionally well. You're doing it just so well. You make it easy. Make the rest of us say, okay, now what are we not doing right? I'm sure it wasn't always easy. So I just want to ask you, when you got here, what are some of the challenges that you had to overcome on your journey?
Again, thank you for that question. Some of the challenges I had initially is being able to adapt to the environment, being able to get the statistics and the information and the things I need to move forward and to make my impact here in the United States and also in Nigeria. So it wasn't difficult. It wasn't easy at the initial stage because I have to go through this process of trying to adapt to the environment, getting families to help me since I've never visited the United States before. So it was kind of challenging trying to get my people to help me, getting family members to help me, and eventually aspiring to go to school and improve on myself and trying to get to the point where I am today. But most importantly, the focus and the need to succeed and being able to reach out to the people that could give me the information to succeed. That was a little bit challenging initially.
But as is in our character, we never say no. We never accept no. My father always told me when somebody says no, turn it around and it's on. Okay. No should not, deter you. But the other thing I wanted to ask you, being in Nigeria, it's almost like you're expected to be a success. It's almost it's a driving force. I'm Nigerian. I came to this country. I came to, and as a matter of fact, people at home are looking at you and wonder, what are you doing? So how do you think being a Nigerian also drives that, that motivation to achieve? Go ahead.
Yeah. So, like you rightly said, the drive to succeed and the course to succeed that one chooses, it doesn't just come out overnight. I strongly believe the background of some of us Nigerians helps a lot. When we come from a region where things are so difficult, where the no matter your expertise, no matter how well informed you are, no matter your background, no matter your professionalism, it is very, very difficult to succeed in such an environment without, and you don't get any help. So I strongly believe that when most Nigerians travel abroad, especially, let me say, people from where I come from, which is the southeastern part of the Nigeria, the Igbos. There are also a lot of other Nigerians from the Yorubas, from the north, from the Hausas that are very successful from where they come from. But I strongly believe that the background from where we came from in Nigeria, where we have so much abundance, but at the same time, we're in the midst of squalor. You're not really enjoying those God-given gifts that the country has. I think that is a very big push for most of us when we leave the country.
Yeah, and that's so true. That's applicable to any Nigerian that I talk to. It's always that drive, trying to do better so that when you get home, so that you can help the people at home. But I want to ask you this, and that's really, quite frankly, why I chose to focus on Nigeria. Give Nigeria several weeks, to spotlight the positives, because I think that some of what we hear about Nigeria, some of it is true, of course, but you can have a problem with the conditions, but the people are generally good people. Do you think that Nigerians are misrepresented in the media?
Yes, to a certain degree, but not totally. I think the misrepresentation comes from some of the information that the media, hear about Nigerian people, maybe on the air, maybe the stories that they've heard in the past, maybe informations they see online and all that. Some of those misrepresentations, like maybe when one Nigeria get involved in one atrocity or in one bad behavior, it becomes a model to paint the other Nigerians. Such misrepresentation, I think, still exists in different places today, abroad, outside the country. Areas where Nigerians, some of them, where Nigerians are not being trusted, where Nigerians are scrutinized more than some other people. And this misrepresentation, I think, doesn't just fall out from the blues. So that is why it is a kind of a systemic thing based on the pictures that have been pasted, that have been painted over the years about Nigeria from some Nigerians that are leaving the country and coming outside the country, and then having doing some of these things. So, but eventually, Nigerians are great people. Nigerians are wonderful people. They are spread all over the world, and sometimes the reason why Nigerians are spread all over the world, and it's even getting worse at this time. Mostly due to the hardship, there's a lot of things going on inside the country. There's a lot of suppression, oppression, where people are just killed, people are just murdered just because of their beliefs. So this kind of setup, nobody wants their children, nobody wants their child to die. So all these instances has made a lot of movement outside Nigeria has really increased, because of these tendencies. But yes, I think in some degree there's a lot of misrepresentation. Outside.
Yeah, because there's problems all over the world. It's not just akin to Nigerians, but there is a reality of on the ground in Nigeria that we have to admit has to change. Things have to change. It can't continue the way it is, at least for the Nigerians themselves who live there. That level of struggle is real. And so that aspect of it is very real. But in America, on the other hand, it's not fair, I don't think, to, brush everyone, with the same brush. Everybody's 419, and I mean, come on, look at you, look at people. There are many million. I mean, there's about 3 million African Nigerians here in the United States. We're not all doing 419 and criminal activity. So anyway, thank you for sharing that. Now you're a mother. Oh my God, you are a mother of 4 lovely girls. Your first daughter is a medical doctor at Ventura Medical Center in California. And your second daughter is a medical student at Penn State University, Pennsylvania. Your third daughter will be graduating this December from Georgia State University. And the last one is heading in the same direction. Your baby is at Georgia State University and is currently taking a break. I know. I understand that. And how did you manage to raise such 4 successful kids on your own? What is the magic potion here? Share with us.
Thank you so much. In Nigeria, we said that a child is raised not just by an individual, but by the community. Yeah. So raising of my kids is also done with the community. So Nigerians, families that are close to me, all of them participated in one way or the other to the raising up of the kids, including their father. But on my own part, it is I'm somebody that, like you rightly said, I don't believe in saying no. I don't believe in saying never. Something cannot be done. That has always been my guideline. I try to see hope where there is no hope. I see light where there is no light. Everywhere I go, I look at the possibility of making something out of nothing. And that has really helped me a lot. When I was when I first had my bachelor degree in Nigeria, I went to University of Benin, and when I came to the United States, I watched a program one day where I saw this nurse. I think he's a nurse or a doctor that was helping some veterans. I think that was during the Iraq War. So I saw how the nurse was really very, very active, trying to help the wounded soldiers and all that, to move them. So when I saw that, for some reason, I got caught in that particular incident, that particular event. And I said to myself, if somebody like this can help, I think I can do that. So that is what pushed me into really going into the nursing field. So I had my kids; they were all growing up at the same time. And you may not believe that when I went to Valdosta State University for my Bachelor of Science in Nursing, I was living in Valdosta and I was living in Atlanta, Georgia at the same time. So during the holidays, I will come to Atlanta with my kids. Once the school session starts, all of us will move back to Valdosta, and because we had an apartment. We had an apartment in Valdosta, Georgia. So we were shuffling between Valdosta and Atlanta, Georgia until I finished my schooling. So I think it's more of focus, organizing, and being able to make sure that you do the right thing at the right time. There's never going to be a good time to maybe start to go to school, or right time to now when your kids start, I'll start living my life, or I'll do. No, there's never a set time for anything. You just have to flow with the time, organize, and make sure that you structure whatever you're doing around your family to be able to help you achieve. So what I really do at that time, when my kids go to school, then I'll go to school. Before they come back, most times I'm back to welcome them from the school bus and prepare. And that is how, it really flows throughout.
So in other words, there is no excuse.
There is really no excuse. Sometimes I have some of my friends that have maybe 2 kids, 3 kids. They will say, "Oh, Dr. Ngozi, I cannot do that. My kids, I'll wait until all that." And I used to tell them I had 4 girls, and all of them, we were all moving at the same pace. But I just have to plan my time, my school around them. Their father also helped, so that helped a lot. But I didn't say, "Okay, let me stop to do or go to school. Let me stop to work, or let me stop to do this." No. Let me tell you, when I had my last baby, Nicole, and then I didn't have any money. And that was really like my first year when I came to the United States. I was carrying my baby. I think Nicole, my baby was around maybe 2-3 months, between 2-3 months, 6 months. I had to carry my baby to go to home care where I have to babysit overnight. So while my baby was sleeping, I was taking care of the people that are at the home. And in the morning, I'll have to shower them. I'll have to get them ready for school. And these are, some disabled kids. So I did that, and I still had my baby by the corner. So I did not say, let me wait until my baby is like 6 months, because I know that job is going to give me some sort of income, which I need. So basically, it's just making sure you're focused on what you want and then going after that.
And then, community is so important. Community, and I noticed that as part of our Nigerian experience. It's not my child, it's it's not my children, it's our children, because obviously we're looking into the future. What if they become successful? Then that means we collectively become successful, and that's one of the things I like about our tradition. And we should continue that. We should really push for it. There's so much individualism that's just sort of taking place now, but that's not our culture. It takes a village. So I can appreciate what you're saying, because I remember when mine were little, I had to depend on community. It's so much. I mean, it's not like when you're at home, you have housekeepers, you've got all that help. There's no such thing. You're everything. You are everything. There's no support. So I can appreciate that. Now let me ask you this. You mentioned earlier the challenges that Nigeria is facing. So my question to you is, what do you believe is necessary to turn Nigeria around? I know there's an election coming up soon, and young people are very, very excited about the prospect of a new leadership, or is it a new mindset? What do you think is so necessary to move Nigeria forward? Because it's a powerful nation, and it's got to head in a different direction. What is your thought?
Thank you so much, Professor Owa, for that question. I'm very, very passionate about Nigeria, and I've played so many roles in different areas to make sure that we are moving towards the right path. That may not be the opinion of other people, but from experience and from what is going on in Nigeria, I think the solution to make Nigeria a great nation has been on the board for years. It has been mentioned both in private studies, but in public studies, and it is out there in the public domain. We have several reports from past experiences, things that happened during the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1914, what happened in 1967 to 1970, some of the private reports by the American surveys about where Nigeria is going, like in 2030 and stuff like that. All these are in the public domain. As far as the making Nigeria a great nation and what needs to be done to make sure that Nigeria does not collapse. The trajectory that Nigeria is on right now there's a very, very high chance it's going to collapse. What has been suggested in the past to be done is to ensure that the different regions in Nigeria are empowered. The different regions are empowered. And when I say empowerment, I mean in the areas of things like making the regions to be fully independent. Nigeria is kind of like different countries that were bumped together. And it is difficult when you bump different countries together and just call them one. It becomes very, very hard for the country to function, because what is happening today is that we have different regions, we have different cultures, we have different tribes, we have different religion, we have different people that are bumped together. And because of the differences that exist in these regions, when you bump people together that does not have the same culture, the same ethnicity, the same religion, the same beliefs, when you bump them together and force them to live together, there will always be resistance. And it is that resistance that is really moving Nigeria to the point now where it's really going to be very, very difficult to really turn things around in that country. So that is what I meant when I said the solution to the problem that Nigeria is having today has been in the public domain. But for some reason, the leaders have chosen to ignore and neglect those solutions. And because of that, it is going to be very, very difficult. Yes, we have an election coming next year in 2023. And Nigerians generally, they've become so helpless, and some of them does not have any other hope right now, except in the younger people that they are following, that have offered to be part of this presidential election. But the irony of the whole thing is that there have been so much dashing of people's hope that what the people wanted has really not been what is being implemented in Nigeria. And no matter, regardless of how things are being pushed, or regardless of how things are being organized, maybe there'll be a presidential election. After that, the problem will end. at the end of the day, the wishes of the people must prevail, and even the leaders. If we happen to have an election in Nigeria next year, those that we go in must still be able to listen to the voice of the people, and that voice of majority of Nigerians today is that regions in Nigeria needs to be independent, with an independent police, independent military, independent security, different from what we have right now, where the police, the army, the security is all concentrated under the federal government. And the federal government uses the Nigerian military, Nigerian police, Nigerian security at their own whims and caprices. That must change for Nigeria to move forward. That is just one of them. But I'll stop there. There's just so many things that needs to change.
Yeah, well, I'm very curious. You did make a statement about the fact that we are diverse. At one point, Nigeria was not a country. It was a group of different tribes, but they related to each other quite amicably until they became a country. So while they were satisfied with being their different, tribes, I don't even like to use the tribe, but different communities and cultures, but they did interact with each other. But when they became one, obviously we started seeing a lot of, but we live in a country where there's such a diversity of cultures, and yet somehow, there's still scuttlebutts here and there, but somehow they still continue to try to work together. Are you saying that this Nigeria should not try to work together, Nigerians as a whole? Is that what you're saying?
So, and again, I try to let people know, comparing Nigeria with some other countries in the world might be a little bit difficult, because yes, for instance, here in the United States, we have different people, different cultures, different religions in the United States. But the problem in Nigeria is when you have the leadership of a country that does not have the same mindset, just like we're explaining right now, it becomes a big problem. Mm-hmm. If you have the leadership of a country that have a different objective mm-hmm. to what Nigeria should be, mm-hmm. then it becomes a big problem, because all the other regions, all the other entities, all the other citizens that make up that country, they are no longer seeing that thing which they were looking up to, which is one Nigeria, mm-hmm. with one with a different ethnicity, but we are coming together to build a great country where we have different regions participating in different things, different regions acquiring different positions, different regions being part of a system that works. You have to have a sense of belonging in a system to be able to put in your best in that system. When you see, or when you feel that you're being disenfranchised from a system, mm-hmm. and you have a particular region, a particular people occupying all the most important positions in a country and making the rules that guide the rest of the country. And when the others, those other smaller, I won't even call it smaller, when the citizens who are not seeing that major thing which made up the country, that mm-hmm. promise of being one Nigeria, when they are not seeing that, mm-hmm. and they present their case that they are not seeing this, and the next thing that happens is suppression. So you must either believe on this or we kill you. And mm-hmm. then you find a situation where the federal government is using the powers of the Nigerian security system, including mm-hmm. the police, the military, the DSS, using that power given to him by the whole country to go and kill innocent citizens, unarmed citizens, suppress other people just because of their belief. Mm-hmm. Then it becomes a problem that can never be solved until the wishes of those people are settled. You have to, as a leader, you have to sit down and listen. When people complain, you sit down and you listen to them and you find a way to resolve the problem. That is what leaders do. Leaders, when people that work for you complain and say, this is a problem, we need to talk about it, you don't go using the military and the police to shoot them and kill them. So it has happened on several instances in Nigeria where if you have an opposition voice or you come from the opposition region, the federal government, using the federal might, because they are in charge of the police, the military, the army, the air force, the navy. All they need to do is to issue the instruction. So using the powers that Nigerian people have given you people to now suppress and kill unarmed, innocent Nigerians, that is not acceptable. And that will never continue, regardless of whoever is put there as Nigerian president.
Well, let me ask you, to what degree are the governors responsible for the well-being of their own states? I know there are some governors that are doing a good job, in terms of using funds as it's supposed to be used. I know that the Anambra, when Peter Obi was the governor of Anambra, he used the funding. This is my understanding, to benefit the community, and Anambra is doing quite well. And I did a little research on that. But what is the responsibility of, you are very right in the sense that there are some issues with what our federal government is doing. It can't continue like that. We have to take into consideration the needs of the people. See, you can't have a chief with no Indians, because after a while, the Indians will start protesting. They're not going to continue to go through, when you're pinched once, okay, you get a sense of that pinch. When you're pinched twice, you say, well, don't do that to me again. When you're pinched the third time, that pain is literally permanent. You will say, I don't want, this got to stop. So if you're a leader, you have to understand that is coming if you continue the way you are going. But I always wonder, why is it that some governors do well under that system and some don't? So what is the difference between? I mean, they're all Nigerian governors, but why are some such huge failures? Why some are successful under the same government? Talk to me about that.
All right. So, Professor, well, thank you so much for that question. Let me just bring this a point. In a system, when the head is bad, the rest of the body goes bad. It's like, let me use a little analysis. When you don't have oxygen in your brain, what happens? The rest of the body dies.
Yeah.
The question of some governors doing well in Nigeria and some governors not doing well in Nigeria still stems from that structure. The whole generality of Nigeria problems comes from the structure of the country. The structure of the country has made it very, very difficult for major successes to be recorded in Nigeria. And let me give you an example. For instance, like you just said right now, in Anambra State, there was Peter Obi. You mentioned Peter Obi. He did well. He did this. He did that. He did that. But I can also show you a lot of loopholes and a lot of infrastructures, which at the time that the same person you mentioned was a governor should have been done, but it was not done. And I don't really want to go into the whole some of the things that he did as a governor, because when people say, "Oh, Peter Obi saved money for Anambra State, he banked money and all that," there was a lot of infrastructures that was supposed to have happened in Anambra State, but that was not done. But I'm not going to go into the individual governors and what they are doing in their state. My major concern is the growth of Nigeria as a country, the growth of the citizens of Nigeria as individuals, both individuals and collectively. What has hampered that growth? And that is why Nigerians are scattered all over the world. Nigerians need to go and build their own country. Yes, we all can be abroad. We are all exceptional. We are all doing well in our own different fields. But if we are successful and our people are dying daily from basic things like very, very high blood pressure, blood sugar 500 or 600, no basic amenities, no basic healthcare center. You need then start wondering, why is it that most Nigerian leaders, politicians, when they are sick, they all want to fly abroad? If those state governors that you mentioned are doing so well, why is it when they are sick, they want to travel abroad to get medical care? They go to America, to Europe, to India, to Dubai, to Saudi Arabia to get health care. Our president today travels abroad for his own health care. So if Nigerian leaders are doing so well over these years with all the money, why do our leaders have to travel outside the country for basic medical health care? And again, when you come to the growth, you cannot grow a people when the basic freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of their rights in the equality, when you suppress these things, you cannot grow nothing. Anything you have to grow is going to be temporary. Nigeria needs to grow from the scratch. And that scratch is giving the citizens a sense of belonging, giving the citizen the right to voice their opinion without somebody shooting them down.
Yes.
The right for people to express how they feel without fear of being shut down, without fear of being killed. The right for people to converge in their community and have meetings without the military or the Nigerian government sending soldiers to go and kill them. Those things must exist for any country to move forward. And it is not there in Nigeria right now. So no matter how each of the governors try, that urge by the citizens of Nigeria to be independent, to have freedom of speech, to have freedom of movement. I'm not even going to go into the terrorism that have taken over the whole country today. Terrorists have moved into all parts of Nigeria, Fulani terrorists. That's why I keep telling you, the policy of the federal government affects every nook and corner of Nigeria. In Nigeria today, we have the federal government, have a policy where non-terrorists are rehabilitated and reintegrated into the Nigerian police, security, armed forces. What country in the world rehabilitates non-terrorists? All over, all the countries of the world, any terrorists they get, they either kill them or they lock them up. They try them. But Nigerian government, and that's why I keep telling you, when the federal government is bad, it moves down to every section of the country. Those policies cannot work in the regions of Nigeria. And if those things are not corrected, no matter how much billions you pump into Nigeria today, it's going to go down.
So, the young people at this time are expressing such discontent and fighting. I mean, it's so obvious when you look at the videos all over, coming from all over Nigeria. The young people are taking to the streets. They are raising their hands and demanding a change because, they're demanding a change because it's their country. They love their homeland. That's the only country they have, really. So it is, for my part, as a Nigerian, I share the sentiment, obviously, that things can't continue the way it's going. And we need to listen to these young people. They cannot be criminalized for wanting a future. Now, a lot of them are going, solidifying behind P2B. And P2B is the face, from what I can see, is the face of a movement. It's a face of a desire for change. It's the face for young people who say, we are tired. And he's making statements that sounds plausible to them. I've listened to his videos. I've heard what he has to say. He seems like he has a plan. Is he the best man? Well, it's for the citizens to determine. But certainly, it is time for the citizens to pick somebody that will make the change happen. It cannot, like you said, continue as is. I'm going to take a moment and come right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the queen herself. We shall return and continue our conversation.
African Women Mobilization Commission Child Sponsorship Program. Here at OMSI, we believe that every child deserves a chance to thrive, no matter who they are or where they live, and that opportunities help a child to develop and build precious imagination. A healthy and imaginative mind can see the possibilities of the future. And a child with a future can weather the storms of life if given the right tools and the chance. Sponsoring a child helps a child to eat, get an education, have good health care, and gain a friend and mentor in you. I know you want to know more. Sponsor a child by visiting AfricanWomenCommission.net. After all, a child is waiting. Register to meet your sponsored child today.
Yes, indeed. We are back again. We are talking to Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. And I hope you have been listening. She has been sharing some very, very important information about what's going on in Nigeria. And the topic, of course, today is why are Nigerians performing in the United States? But at the same time that we're celebrating our successes here, we've got to be honest and talk about some of the challenges at home and the challenges that need to change for the benefit of future Nigerians, and certainly for the benefit of those of us who want to go home and those who want to go visit. Nigeria is a powerful nation, rich in resources and manpower. We just need to right the ship with the right leadership. Who might that be? February, Nigeria is voting for a new president. Whoever that person may be, it is important that all of us pay attention to what they believe in, what they have done. We cannot vote people into office just because they are from our tribe. We can vote people into office because they speak the same language or they look like us or they are rich and this, that, and the other. Vote for your interest. Vote for somebody who will support your interest. Take into consideration what Dr. Orabueze is saying. There are certain things that are going on, and if it does not change, it does not matter who you put in office. Those key things must change. That is not just the responsibility, however, of the government. It is also our responsibility. We are the ones who create the government. If we accept bribery, then we are responsible for the people that come into office and become and bribe, focus on bribery as a means of operation. So we need to be very careful. For my part, I say anyone who has any sense of duty, must investigate who they are voting for. That's my thing. I have looked at all the people who are running, and I have made 10 comparisons, who has done this, who has done that, who has done that, who hasn't done this, who has done that. And then I can see, okay, who is it, very honestly, that I can see? Do your own research. Don't you say, Ngozi? Shouldn't we? I think what you're saying, that Nigeria should is a country of different tribes. I want to ask you though, if we're not one Nigeria, how can we become different tribes when the same challenges is happening in each part of the country. What is going to make each part become so independent that is a better option than one Nigeria? I want you to address that.
Thank you so much, Prof. I think the question still boils down to the people are the government.
Mhm.
When the people becomes the government, it changes a lot of things. When the people decides on how they want to exist, on how they want to be ruled, it makes a lot of difference. We can say, oh, the regions are fighting now. So what makes it when they are no longer one? How are they going to? Let me start. The first one, I'm gonna tell you that's gonna change in area of security. If you have been following the trends in Nigeria now, how Nigeria has become one of the top countries in the World Terrorist Index. I think we are number 2 or 3 right now. You will ask yourself, why is it now that Nigeria has gradually risen to the point where we are number 3 or 4 in the World Terrorism Index? And I tell you this, one of the major reasons why we have this rise in terrorism in Nigeria is because of lack of security, which stems from the type of the federal government Nigeria operates. When the regions, that is why now you see in Nigeria, different regions now are setting up their security apparatus because they no longer have trust in the federal government security system. You see that in the West, where we have the Amotaco. You see that in the Middle Belt, where the Governor Otom have established his own security. You see that in the East, where we have the Eastern Security Network. You see that in the South. You see that in different parts of Nigeria. What do you think is pushing people to set up their security apparatus? Because these terrorists are killing their citizens every single day. And when I say killing, I don't mean just killing 100 or killing one person. These terrorists, they stand in the middle of the road. They stop a whole bus. They stop a whole train. They kidnap people into the bush. And people are kidnapped. People stay like 3 months. And the government does not bring them out. So the regional system of government, when people start operating within their regions, it will help them to increase the security in their regions, because what is going to happen is when you have the state police, the state security, the state military or whatever, the state apparatus, manning or taking care of the state, it will become easier for those state police military to go after those terrorists that are coming into the state or into the region. That is not what we have right now. So one of the most important thing we lack in Nigeria is security of lives and property. In Nigeria today, people are begging just to live. People are being shut down just for nothing, just for expressing their opinion. The regional security will help people to now organize their states to the point where the governors can have a power to issue rules, to issue laws that will help them secure the lives of their citizens. I'm not saying all governors may do that, because there are some governors that they don't care. All they want is, once they have the backing, once they are bribed, once they have money from the federal government, they are ready to carry out the plans of the federal. But giving the states the power to organize their police, the security, and all the other security apparatus, we help them to institute policies that will help them fight against the terrorists. As it stands now, it is difficult for them to do that, because while the state governors are doing one thing, the federal government is doing a different thing. Why the Nigerian citizens are saying, we do not want you to rehabilitate and reintegrate terrorists into the Nigerian security apparatus. The federal government have a different policies which says reintegrate and rehabilitate non-terrorists into the Nigerian security apparatus. And this security apparatus is spread all over the state. So how can the states be better when the policies from the federal government has made it difficult for the states to be functional? And this is just one area. It spreads in different areas. Another example I'm going to give you. In Nigeria today, we have 12 northern states in Nigeria operating the Sharia law. Sharia law. While the southern states are operating on the secular law. How can you have two laws in one country? And the Christians that are born, that are indigenous of those northern states, they are forced to obey those Sharia law, whether they are Christians, whether they are pagans, whether they are Muslims. How can a country move forward? The recent one, the killing of Deborah, it was all over the world. Deborah is a Christian. The family were Christians. But because she did not follow the Sharia law, she was stoned to death. She was murdered in public. This happens on a regular basis. Deborah is just one person that came to light to the whole world. So the structure of the country, no matter how it is tweaked around to become one, it's not sustainable. Because so many things that has happened, so many laws, so many policies that have been put in place by the government over the past 50, 60 years has made it very difficult for Nigeria to operate as one system. And those must be dismantled for the country to move forward.
You have shared very passionately what is going on in Nigeria, and I cannot thank you more than I don't even know where to start, because initially I had intended to talk about the joys of being of being Nigerian, and you certainly have brought and it was necessary. It's a necessary conversation, because you can't just gloss over things. We look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that is what you have done today. And I do appreciate your time. I do want to know, how can people get in touch with you? Can you please verbally tell you? Now, I have, as a matter of fact, I do have information. You tell me if this is correct. They can get in touch with you by phone. This is the phone number for your business. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Is there another number you would like them to use, or this one in particular?
This number is okay, or my website.
Okay. And also they can get in touch with you via this website, correct?
Yes.
Now, before we close, I know we've gone all over just a little bit, because I have a workshop to conduct, but I just it's just exciting to have you here. But I just wanted you to just briefly talk about your political engagement. You have an organization that you're helping a lot of young people to run for office. Talk a little bit about that. I think that's important. I don't want to leave that.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor O. A little bit about that. Because of my passion to make sure Nigeria is what it's supposed to be, I am very, very interested in the politics, in community affairs. So we have our group, the NCWS, National Congress for Women's Society. What we are doing in that website is to encourage a lot of Nigerians to go into leadership. We are teaching them what good leadership should look like. We're trying to let them see the bigger picture in Nigeria. And based on that, those that are seeing the what good leadership looks like, we sponsor them, we support them to run for offices. One of the other avenue that we tried to do that before is through one of our full-fledged political party, United Patriots. We are in the 36 states of Nigeria. The NCWS is also, we are cut across the whole 36 states of Nigeria. And again, the policy at the federal affects a lot of youths, and that needs to really go down for the youths to really rise up. So it is one way or the other. So that is the avenues we use.
And I see it's quite enlightening to see the young people who are running for office, and some of them are making it. And I do follow you, and I see what you're doing. So we are so proud of you, your interest and your passion for change, and the passion. Obviously, your success is based on that passion. And we're looking. I know we're going to see you even further someday. Perhaps you'll be the president. What the heck? Hey. I think it's time for a sister to come in. Okay? Okay. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, here again is how you can get in touch with her. That's her website. You'll see she's doing such a marvelous job here in the United States. And congratulations on the success of your children. I know who to go to. Just remind them I'm auntie. So when I come to
they know. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all of you who joined us. We are on Dr. O website, African Women Mobilization Commission Dumodo, on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitter. Thank you all so very much for joining us, and I look forward to a continuation of our discussion next week on the important people of Nigeria and all the good things we're doing. Thank you, Doctor. You have a wonderful day. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prof.
You're welcome.